So by my reckoning, this is the sixth episode. It's going to be a little different. We are not going to follow our heroes in the current time and place that they are at because this is going to be a shorter episode. I've really been trying to keep the episodes shorter lately, and yet they somehow keep getting longer, which is crazy to me. But this time we definitely have to keep it short because we have several people who need a hard out before our normal end time today. That said, I think we're going to start with Fulston. The air smells like sea salt. There's a beautiful beach with a dirt road next to it. Absolutely gorgeous beach. And three Australian light armor vehicles, ASLAVs, are blasting down the road. We see the Major. He still has a little bit of that hair up top to indicate that this is the past. We hear the sound of AC/DC's Highway to Hell as these three 8x8 vehicles are just soaring down this road. They come around a corner and we see a giant statue of Jesus Christ holding his hands out towards the sea. There are like trash can fires, tire fires. There are people who are holding like protest signs. There are people nearby who are holding AK-47s and firing them wildly into the rapidly approaching evening. And there is a truck with a 7.62 machine gun mounted on the back of it, technical style, that sees these three ASLAVs come around a corner and immediately begins blasting in the other direction to get out of here. Major Fulston, this is perhaps the finest moment of your entire career. It's East Timor, outside of Dili. There are separatist forces and nationalist forces clashing. Indonesian Muslims versus local Catholics over the issue of who will control East Timor. Will it be a free state? Will it not be? Australia has signed security agreements. You are here not to help Indonesia invade on paper, but to keep the peace. And here you are as these two groups of protesters are on the verge of violence breaking out, and a very clear target is fleeing the area. And you can hear your men beginning to deploy out the back of the ASLAVs in sets of three. Their fire teams begin assembling into like peacekeeping forces. All of them are stacking up behind cover as best they can, keeping their weapons not trained on anyone in the nearby crowds in particular, but ready to lay down suppressive fire, flashbangs, just whatever it takes in order to keep the peace here. For you, this is the last great moment of your career before it all starts to go downhill. What do you do at this moment? The beautiful sea on your right, that smell of ocean air, someone calling up to you through the lavs turret going, Major, what do we do?
Okay. So what is my actual objective here?
Your
What am
objective is to disperse militia forces inside Dili.
In that case, start rolling forward, use the ASLAVs as cover. So keep the people behind them, just in case they start opening up on us. And if we got smoke, and have they given us tear gas, or are we police keeping, or are we?
Oh, you're definitely police keeping here. This is security agreements. So yeah, your men begin responding immediately. Special forces soldiers stacked up behind these ASLAVs. The ASLAVs begin rolling forward at about 4 miles an hour. Your troops using 40 mics are dispersing smoke, tear gas. Someone has like a bullhorn on one of the ASLAVs and it's just like, all of you there. But they say it very Australianly. I apologize. As we've noted, I only have a Cyrus accent. All of you there, disperse immediately, return to your homes. And you can see the people nearby are beginning to flee in terror. Some of the men who have machine guns are standing in the smoke, bewildered, holding their machine guns sideways, but looking at you like they want to do something, but not quite sure what to do because they are in the open against three armored vehicles.
Um, just call out to everyone. Remember, no shots, no shots. No one's to shoot unless we get shot at.
Okay. Nearby, you can see that there is someone yelling towards your force. They are wearing kind of like 1990s era. So really, it's like 1980s era surplus police equipment. And they have like a small squad of people who look like they might have been former police officers. And they're shouting at you in Portuguese. And one of your men is translating and saying, "Sir, these civilians say that they're here to help you out. They can help enforce the peace. What do you want them to do?"
Tell them to go home.
Perfect. Perfect. So one of the this is the start of several scenes that we're going to have, audience. The important thing here is that none of our players have ever gotten XP for moral code or big dream, and we barely ever touch on it. And I'm having a lot of trouble figuring out how to make it relevant. And this is the episode where we go through everyone's moral code and big dream. And Major Fulston, what is your moral code?
Soldiers are soldiers and civilians are civilians, and they shouldn't really interact too much.
These civilian peacekeeping officers offer to help you, and you immediately tell them that they're the problem and they should go home as well.
That's right. Cassandra disband.
You quickly deal with this situation, earning yourself a commendation just days before you drunkenly punch a superior officer. Luke William, it's the 90s, baby. You've just left the Australian military after some years of service, and you're finding it somewhat difficult to become a certified doctor because it turns out that no matter how much you thought your time in the military as a medic would prepare you to become a doctor, that it is going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars and will take a formal medical training, residency, all of the things, and none of your credentials transfer over. They are treating you as if you are a fresh, completely untrained guy who has never had to sew someone's arm back on. What are you doing for money in between the time that you were in the military and the time you signed up to become a mercenary? First off, what are you dressed like? I'm so curious what civilian Luke William in 1998 looks like. You know what I mean? Is he a dude wearing cargo shorts with a Walkman?
Yeah, he's definitely wearing cargo shorts with flip-flops and some sort of we have a brand here called Hard Yakka, which might be like the American version of Carhartt, I guess. So the Australian version of Carhartt. And yeah, so I got a Hard Yakka like singlet on, the one that's only got like the buttons to like 1/4 of the way down, and then it's a full shirt. So pretty country. And I reckon he is, because stitching cattle together or livestock is not that different to doing humans, and people are a lot less concerned about your veterinary skills when you're out on a cattle farm. So I think he's gone to the country and realized he can't he can't do the medical training that he has, that he's gone to properties and stuff like that and done some work with animals. And at least then, when all the injuries that happen on a farm that do happen, he's nearby to help some people, and people aren't that concerned when they're bleeding out on what your medical credentials are.
A lot of cows giving birth on the docket for the next few days. A lot of strange incidents of animals brushing up against stuff and getting tetanus, animals injuring themselves, wild animals injuring. It's
Shoulders deep, shoulder deep,
so
in
boring,
butt.
Luke. It's so boring.
Definitely in about 20 years' time, you can get like a Channel 9 reality fly on the wall TV show about your escapades on the farm.
Yeah, of course.
Talking about war stories and cleaning out cow hooves.
This sounds really specific, James. Is there an Australian reality show about a former military doctor who became a veterinarian?
No, but there's all these YouTube channels about people that do like agricultural medicine, like the hoof doctor, and it's suddenly
farriers.
Yeah,
farriers. Yeah, they just got to be just good looking enough with just enough darkness behind their eyes. The women are like, I can fix him, and he's got a skill set.
You gonna have TV vets in the US?
We invented TV vets in the US, James.
It's puppies and half good-looking people.
Not only did we invent TV vets, we invented reality television. We didn't perfect it, but we invented it.
We've gone around the point of making reality TV about reality TV shows.
Oh, God.
The inception loop has begun.
You are looking at the need for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The veterinary gig pays good. It pays well. It doesn't pay that well.
Yep. And I think Luke also, appreciates the plight of farmers and stuff like that. And, when times are hard, when the drought is on, that if he doesn't need the pay, then he doesn't take his full pay. So he's not helping himself by undercutting himself.
You are helping out a farmer who you know pretty well. He's got a pretty large herd. Former military man, so calm like yourself. And again, I only have one Australian accent, so I'm going to do an American South accent, and you can assume this will sound like a agriculture in rural Australian, whatever that would sound like.
AP, can I give you a name for
Sure.
this fella?
Yeah.
Dazza.
Dazza, sure. Dazza snaps his overalls over his flannel shirt, puts his elbows on your counter and says, "Well, Doc, did a pretty good job there with Bessie."
Yeah, she was having a hard birth there. I don't I think the little one will be right, but what do you reckon? Daisy for this one? Daisy? We're doing flowers, right?
This job's sitting
Daisy
right
it
with
is.
you, Doc.
Look, it's good, man. It's good. I guess I thought I was going to do more, I guess. I don't know, man. You know what it's like. You get out and you want to, you think you can take what you got, what's unique and put it to good use after a long time of, fucking around and doing bullshit. But I don't know. I tell you what, I got better colleagues now as he pats the cat on the counter. It's some better colleagues now.
Listen, you can't drop lore about you owning a cat and not talk about this cat,
No, it's not my cat. It's the shop cat.
shop cat. But you have to understand we have cat love in this audience. You have to describe the cat.
Oh, well, it's definitely orange. It's definitely an orange cat. It is
Hate
equally
Mondays.
yeah. It's equally affectionate, followed by wanting to tear your hand off. So you never know what you're gonna get, and it's that kind of love-hate relationship that every veteran looks for, thrives on, like the constant disdain and dissatisfaction on my performance.
Look, I'm a bit too old to get back in it, but I had an old colleague pulls out a business card that says Lieutenant Junior Grade David Hay, retired, United States.
A Yank,
Private
eh?
security pays good.
One of those lot.
Now, look, Doc, I like you and I think you do a good job, but there's 4 other guys just like you. And I know you're looking to put your unique skills.
Yeah. Well, I guess the season's over now. You know what? I'll give him a call. Thanks, Dazza. Now you look after Daisy, yeah?
Yeah.
I want to see her back next year, yeah?
We cut to a bus streaming past Cassandra Liew, holding all of the possessions of her office in a cardboard box, having been escorted by security out of the RG Casey house. All of the paperwork for your separation from the Australian SIS, ASIS having been completed. It's here. It's everything you've dreamed of, Cassandra Liew. It's time to begin your normal life now that you're no longer in service to the Australian government. What's the first thing on your list today, Friday afternoon, the first day of your separation?
Find a taxi to get home. No, Chris. I saw. Even though your background is blurred, I saw that. I'm not going to take a box of my confidential information to the pub.
But just
No
in
wonder
general,
you got fired.
Yeah.
what is
Just
it?
not
No,
fitting in.
I don't think Cassandra got fired. I think Cassandra willingly left, right? That
Yeah,
was
that's right. Yeah, yeah,
that was the
yeah.
thing.
It's hard to believe.
But
Yeah,
but you see, I've only been fired from a government job, so this is the only way I know that you leave them is with security escorting you out with a box.
She brought the box from home. It's prepared.
Yeah.
No government box. It actually has like a shaped bottom, so it can actually hold the weight they gave you.
No, if you're smart, you know you're going to leave. You make sure you get the stuff out bit by
Yeah, you
bit.
get yourself out
over-
first, and then
Yeah.
it's just like paper clips and pens is the last thing
Yeah,
that goes out. Yeah.
slowly exporting the client list.
Yeah. Whoa. Now that's the sound of a government consultant right there being born.
Yeah, I think it's a taxi home to drop off everything, and then like looking at what's in the house to like make dinner, and then deciding instead to like go out to a nearby pub for dinner. That then becomes a light meal and some drinking.
I knew we'd get to the pub eventually.
Yeah.
And where are you 3 months from then? What are you doing with this normal life you've spent so long dreaming of after spending weeks undercover, sometimes attached to embassies, sometimes running assets. Nothing James Bond like, nothing Jack Ryan, but general diplomatic intelligence work,
Yeah,
checking in with people.
I think I'm in a small home office, like typing up some sort of consultancy report. Like, I've had like some government document that I have managed to get on the like the review list for pay, and going through and just reviewing and adding comments in the margins, while also like manage like moving bills around on the table and checking messages on the phone, like just trying to manage 4 or 5 different small gigs at once, while also trying to like work out, okay, so the money's going to come in for this gig on this date. I need to pay this, 2 days before that, so I need to call this person and say, hey, can I get a couple of days extension? But then what happens if they don't pay on time? Sort of. It's not desperate. It's not like you're about to lose a house, but it's certainly like having to
You're
live
hurting me,
lean
James.
to try and.
Now this is real consultants.
Running that gig economy. In that gig economy in the 90s.
Yeah, the gig economy, the contract work in the 90s for sure. This was too real, James. It was too close to home. But does Cassandra feel challenged in her work? And does she feel content now that she has this normal life that somehow still is circling the drain on government life?
Yeah, no, this is not at all. I mean, I don't know that she knows what she wanted when she wanted a normal life. But she's one of the people that sees like this isn't what I wanted, but I don't really know what I wanted. But this isn't it. I'm not happy right now. I don't know what will make me happy, but it's the classic Venn diagram of what I'm good at, what I get paid for, what I enjoy doing, and none of those things line up. The 3 separate circles.
Thanks, James. That's hurting me right now again.
Jesus, I'd like to call some ex-partners and just play this part.
I should have figured James's section would be a personal attack on me. That's what I should have assumed. Major Fulston, we cut back not to reality, but to your dream. The dream that you're looking forward to. The day you can put your wedding ring back on. You'll no longer be separated from your wife. You'll no longer be paying spousal maintenance for Americans. That's alimony. I think you have a dog and a son as well. Did I recall that from some
Dog and a daughter?
Dog and a daughter who haven't seen you for years, ever since your wife served you with those divorce papers. But this is the dream, right? All you need is to be cleared of your past crimes, get your pension back, and then your daughter will take you back. The dog will remember who you are immediately. Your wife will remarry you, or at the very least, you won't be separated anymore. And you can move back into that farmhouse. That's the dream, right?
Do you do cash in hand work to avoid child support, Mike?
I couldn't help but notice you just played a country song backwards.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So here's my question for Major Fulston for the dream. Assuming all of that works, Major, what are you going to do with yourself in that farmhouse with your family?
Well, he's going to raise chickens and grow mushrooms.
Grow mushrooms?
Yeah, it's a mushroom farm.
Okay. I've literally never heard a single person in my entire life say that they wanted to grow mushrooms until
Well, I don't think anyone ever wants to, but if that's what your farm is, you kind of.
I have a couple of friends who are mycologists that love growing mushrooms.
Yeah, I'm
pretty sure we're getting very fancy now.
Yeah, and after the success of Clarkson's Farms mushrooms, I get the feeling that it's gonna be a lot more mushroom, a lot of oyster mushrooms out on the market soon.
Okay. Well, this show takes place in 1999, so I don't even know if Clarkson is actually famous yet. Now, my question for you as Major Fulston is how much of this plan to get back together with your wife and family on the farm with the dog is copium? And if it is copium, does Fulston recognize that? And he's like, this is a dream, or he genuinely believes that he can put it back together?
He believes he can pay off the farm and he can get his pension back. And then Anything after that is a bonus. But at least then he can start trying. But so far, without that, he can't even attempt to do anything else. Which is, that sort of backward thinking of, oh well, I have to achieve this before I can carry on. Where really he could probably just, reach out to his daughter and get started straight away. But no, that to him that isn't possible until he sorted out the farm.
Oh, okay. So now this is very interesting. I love the idea of this grumpy older man who could solve all of his familial problems by reaching out to his, I'm guessing, teenage or younger daughter and actually talking to her. But instead, he wants to make sure that he pays off the farm first by doing dangerous work in another country, murdering people for money.
Yeah.
Incredible what men will go through to avoid talking to their daughters over.
Just a modicum of vulnerability in communication with somebody who should unconditionally love you, and it's like, no, I'd rather put myself at great risk and pain and suffering to ensure that everything is perfect.
Exactly. It's another 10 years before he can start hopping on Facebook and posting about how he used to drink from the hose and he's perfectly fine.
Drink from the hose. Perfect. Meanwhile, we're going to snap back to reality because that's really most of what I had planned. We are snapping back to present day. You're coming around the side of a mountain, coming around into Yenhei, and you can see that the police are having some sort of discussion with locals here. There's schools, government buildings, a dispensary, a sports area, shuttered grocery store that, if it hasn't already been looted, probably is on completely empty. Yenhei is not a center point of culture of this island. Certainly it's no capital city. And now, with buildings half destroyed, police officers operating out of the fire department, a single ambulance that appears to be the only working vehicle you can see, the three of you walk around the road. What do you want to do in your elevated position in a sort of, what's it called? Like a pull-off area? I don't know if it's called something different for the rest of the world, but like when you're going around like a dangerous corner on a mountain and they expand the area.
Shoulder.
Sorry?
They expand the shoulder.
The shoulder.
Road.
Yeah, there's like an expanded shoulder area where you can look out down onto the town.
And this is where we worked out that like the hospital was sort of like the place that the police had sort of occupied then, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The police have occupied the fire station.
Oh, fire station.
Okay, well, let's wander over onto the shoulder and have a good look at the town. A good vantage point.
Yeah, the binoculars.
Yeah.
Casually.
I will ask for one person to make a recon roll for the whole group. Oh, is this where we figure out whether the Foundry update has borked everything or not?
I guess so. It's Fulston still the best recon operator at a D10, D12.
Wild.
Plus, what do you get for binoculars?
+2. No other penalties or bonuses?
Because that'll put you on D12, D12. It'll put me on D12, D12 too. I'm just seeing whether one of my things actually gives more information. Investigator, whenever I make a recon roll, when you spend a stretch investigating, so we're not spending a whole stretch here. It's probably moot. Then who does it?
Well, if we do end up seeing any forces, then you can do your special ability.
Yeah.
Okay. How long is a stretch as opposed to a shift?
I thought those were the same thing. I guess let's take a look.
Stretch is 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. Do you want to spend that and?
Are you right if I? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Because if I spend a stretch, the referee should tell you some useful information about what's happened here and when. All right, so I'll do recon +2. I don't think infiltrate doesn't count here. Fatigues, nothing. I will push on that.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 successes.
Okay, so you have 2 successes and you get something significant about what's happened here.
Yeah, so when you spend investigating a scene, if you succeed, the referee should give you some useful information about what has happened here and when.
Set that part aside. What are you looking for with your 2 successes?
Is
there anything in particular that you want more than something?
Well, I think something was on fire, for example, when we first arrived. Is that right?
Yes.
Or something? Yeah, okay. So I'm trying to determine if there is still conflict going on, like what the situation on the street is. Are there armed people about? Is there any sort of, current immediate danger? to anybody, including but not only us.
Is there a no man's land? Like,
Yeah.
is it clearly like, oh, it looks like there's some people over there, and then this is the no man's land to be able to
Yeah.
identify the different groups, the different players in the town.
Yeah.
Here's your, before anything else, information of what's happened. It is clear that that group which you previously encountered of bandits has definitely robbed this town. Maybe they were even members of this town. The gentleman with the hunting rifles and also the rocket-propelled grenade. Almost certainly, this is where they got a lot of their supplies. You can see that there is a kayak and canoe shop that seems pretty well supplied. Like, no one has looted it. There are plenty of kayaks and canoes there. You can see that because electricity is out, people are gathering at the soccer field as like the time of day gets later into the evening, and basically just having they're currently having a town hall thing where just, about 100 people, someone has taken the kids aside and like one or two adults is like keeping them entertained and playing soccer on half the field, and the other half the field is adults having a serious and stressful conversation. Another thing you notice is that ambulance, police officers are keeping it fully fueled by siphoning gasoline from other vehicles. You're sat here spending 5-10 minutes watching. You watch them like basically stop someone who is driving into town for some reason, commandeering their vehicle, taking the gas out of their car, and putting it into the ambulance. The final thing, of very serious note, is that the police officers are also stopping people and relieving them of any weapons that they have, like firearms and such. It doesn't look like they're throwing anyone in jail for it, but they are giving them a very serious finger wag and like taking their weapons. There's no like, oh, we're gonna like give you a ticket and you can come pick it back up later sort of deal. This seems very final, the way that they're gathering weapons up and throwing them into the back of a squad car.
Are they patting people down or just removing obvious weapons?
They are fully like anyone that they don't know on site. They appear to be patting them down and relieving them of anything they consider a weapon.
So a bit of a stop, question, frisk going on.
Now there are only 4 of them, and they are, operating. I mean, this isn't the largest town in the world, but they can't check everybody all the time, and they appear to be quite busy keeping public order. I think you see 2 of them at the sports area, like just in general, trying to make sure people aren't shouting over each other and failing miserably, making sure things don't come to fisticuffs. And then the other 2 are outside of the fire station. Just that, I mean, it's a great place. 3 roads converge right there, T intersection, great place to hold and just stop people who are passing. You're wondering about factionalization. 2 successes, I think I can get to that. There doesn't appear to be like any factions more than the nearby bandits having looted this town, and then like people in town who are not united in one vision with one voice as to what to do. These people are 5 days into having their power turned off and not having radio communication. We've all been through COVID, quarantining procedures. These people are getting antsy, and there are no answers for them. They're not ripping each other's hair out, but stress levels are very high right. That said, the police seem to have formed their own independent faction, which makes sense because they're national police officers, and they are keeping themselves above the local population. I feel like there's room for at least one more question.
I mean, does it appear that the town meeting that's happening at the sports field is opposed to what the police are doing? Like, is there conflict between the populace, or are they accepting police control for now?
There a skill like human intuition?
I mean, it's what recon really goes on.
Recon would do that anyway. Okay. Yeah. So there's definitely friction between people who want to live their lives and make decisions right now, and the police generally being like, okay, you can have this meeting and then go home. Like, the police are allowing this meeting to happen. They're allowing this gathering to happen on the premise that at the end of it, no matter what people discuss, you go home and go back to your lives. And for a lot of people here, that's not flying. You get an energy that they want to send people out. They want to gather information. They want to get supplies because food and water are running out. I mean, There's a whole ocean of saltwater right next to them that's totally worthless to them right now. And they need truly basic supplies to get back to life. Information, entertainment. That's where you all find yourselves.
So what do we think here? I don't
Well,
That's
I
that's
think we don't want to interact too much with the police.
know. I don't. Do we want to interact with the town? I guess is the question.
well, I don't know about you, mate, but that looks like it could go off pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we might want it to go off.
See how it could really help us. They don't even look like they've particularly got a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there are four police officers and a broken window away from a lot of people having access to all the guns in the back of their squad car.
Well, my thought is if we were going to steal something, it would be that squad car.
Steal the squad car. I was thinking the same, but I mean, we came here because it was the next major town. We were looking potentially for medical supplies.
Yeah.
I'd say that probably most things have been consolidated probably into the
That fire
ambulance
station.
or the fire station and the ambulance. Yeah,
I'm not too keen on taking the supplies if it's the only supplies this town has.
exactly. And I don't see an option really to go and trade because A, we have not much to offer in trade, and B, there's definitely it's a powder keg waiting to go.
Are there any major car parks or car yards or a car sales place, anything like that?
There are no car sale locations here, but there are several parking. And then, of course, in typical post-apocalyptic fashion, cars that were driving and ran out of gas are scattered. There's probably like, it's not like Walking Dead where it's just a line going into Atlanta. It's like there's 4 cars in the whole place, like over 2 square miles. There's 4 cars that have just ended up parked. I think that the gas station here probably has the most cars like parked at it that are obviously not going in.
I mean, one option is if we want to endear ourselves to this town would be to go back and top those jokers we saw on the road before and bring the stuff back to the town they stole.
Yeah, I've been thinking about those guys. I mean, obviously we can't trust them. My concern is if we try and set up any sort of trade between us and this place or get anything, are they going to hit us when they think we're weak or we've got more stuff? You know, they were concerned about us because we had guns and looked scary before, but how much loot would we carry before that fear gets overturned by greed?
I mean, we could double back and ambush them and just deal with that problem now.
Yeah, I think we have to.
Do you want to do a walk through the town first?
I want to keep away from the cops.
I don't.
Yeah.
What do you think we'll learn down there that we're not learning up here? I guess all we're going to pick up then is what people are talking about.
Yeah,
Maybe if we could get in and listen in to the town meeting, but
yeah. I mean, you got to assume that some of those jokers are related to these people. I mean, they may not be happy at the fact that their, son or uncle or whatever has decided to look out for themselves, but I doubt, we want to make sure that if they suddenly disappeared and all the stuff they took magically reappeared, they wouldn't be too upset about that either. So if they're talking about wanting to sort that problem out, then maybe we can do it for them. If they're less worried about that and more worried about getting stuff from the next town, might change our decision.
I suppose I do have another question, AP. Are there any signs of obvious battle? Any signs of anything blown up or burnt out, shot up, anything major? I mean, I'm not expecting to see single bullet holes in cars or anything from here. Any large scale or major
indication
interactions?
an RPG was fired?
Yeah.
There's no indication an RPG was fired for sure. I don't know that there's any sign that there has been gun violence here. There's no bullet holes. I think that there is some indication that there has been mild looting. Outside of the now basically defunct grocery store, there's like trampled on food containers and just like trash that's been left out and that sort of thing. But no like signs of rapidly degrading civil unrest via gunfires.
Carrying on that, just using the binoculars, just sweep around the outskirts of the town. Are there any signs of fresh graves? Because if anyone's been killed, there's not going to be any chance to refrigerate them in a place like this. They're going to want to bury them. So, any fresh graves anywhere?
You take a look at the hospital nearby, and you don't see any signs outside of it that graves have been prepared. And
There
I mean,
signs.
nothing here seems to provide any indication that anyone's been shot or.
I mean, I could leave my my weapon here with you and go down there and just pretend to be someone from a local town coming to see what the situation is here. I can speak the language and probably pull off the accent pretty well, and to see what I can
okay.
glean.
Just
Yeah.
take this. I'll give you a flare.
Mhm.
Keep it in your pocket. They're not gonna confiscate the flare. Just
Yep.
if something happens, just pop the flare and we'll come down.
Yep.
All right, I'll disarm myself and just sort of drop down to only the bare necessities. Like probably just have things like the sort of things in my backpack that somebody would possibly have while ranging out, like flashlight, med kit, compass, maybe some food, etc. So I at least look like I haven't just walked 15 miles from nearest town with nothing on me, and I'll make my way down towards the town.
Okay.
Do you want us to get a bit closer and just sort of hang nearby, or do you want us all the way up here watching?
I think I'm not anticipating that what they're going to cause a lot of fuss over one person. So I think that if this is a good vantage point, you may as well keep it.
About 2
We'll
kilometers
push.
jog down some switchbacks, down some elevation, and then you find yourself in an unsurprising road along the edge of the water once again. You pass the hospital, and now that you're going past it, you can see that there is a sort of memorial service set up there. They do appear to be holding bodies, but just a quick check and translation in French. It's all from people who required things like chemotherapy or insulin, like people who literally can't live without electricity, passed.
Yeah.
But they're being kept in like in here in this particular. No
But
one
it
from
wasn't-
like no victims of gun violence. Yeah.
It wasn't the sort of hospital that operated an ICU. Like there was nobody here on long-term life support. Okay.
You pass the town's ATM, which is considered a very big deal around here. The ATM has its own parking lot and has almost like a sort of cultural shrine in some way. Wow, did this cat just bat your camera?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was a paw.
I wish my cat did cute stuff like that. You are making your way into the town. You come to the realization that in order to get to the sports center, you're going to have to go over a bridge, and that bridge is the one that's being guarded by the. But
Yeah.
shortly before you get there, someone comes out of the tourism board. He's wearing like is it called sandwich board? The sort
Yeah.
of placards where on both sides he's wearing it for the local cabana, Kawabuana. And he's just like, hey, haven't seen you around here. Hey, friend, what do we need to do to get you into a suite for the night, young lady? This is like
I'm
a
just-
kind of dark-skinned, smiling man, kind of jolly, graying hair. All of it's kept very short. He's got kind eyes, and he just looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah. I'm just he's speaking in French, is he?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so I'll speak in French, and I'll put on like a local accent as well, which I
Okay.
can do with my linguist trait.
Sure. Do we have a deception skill?
Well, it says a successful persuasion roll.
Sure.
So shall I have the conversation first and see how convinced he is, or
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
We'll
right,
we'll
yeah.
see how difficult it is based on
Alright.
your discussion.
All right, I'm just passing through. If I'm going to be here tonight, though, at least I know that you're open. So you've got rooms.
He takes a deep breath, and you can see for a brief moment there's like a world weariness to him, and he says, "Yes, all of our cabanas are available.
Okay,
You
well,
can have a whole cabana to yourself, 50% rate as long as you pay in francs in hand."
okay, well, I sort of like check my pockets to indicate, like, okay, yeah, I do have money on me, to indicate, but probably not a lot. Like, I don't go like, oh, I'm flush. It's more like just like I'm physically counting what I've got in my pocket to know how much I can pay, and then say, oh well, okay, I'm just gonna see. Like, I came to town to try and get some stuff for my uncle, and I thought I'd just have a look and see what's going on, and then I know at least if. Thank you for the offer.
I'm afraid we don't have much here. What in particular were you looking for?
It's my uncle. He had I don't know if it was a heart attack, but he certainly got quite sick. And, we put him to bed. He's okay. But I wanted to maybe, he has angina to maybe see if I can get some more medicine for it here.
He moves towards you as if to put a hand on your shoulder, but he hover hands you and he points at the ambulance and he says, "You should speak with the police officers. They've been keeping the ambulance ready just for this situation for life-saving purposes. If did you say uncle needs help? They'll send it to where, is it up north? I think I know who you're talking about. It's Enrique and Tariq. up in they run the ferry. That's your uncle? I didn't
Well,
know that they.
family uncle,
Oh, yes, of course, yes.
yeah,
I thought I knew everyone around here.
yeah. No, no. I lived down south, but I was up here visiting when everything seemed to, lights off and everything. So
Now's a great time to make that persuasion roll, I
yeah,
think.
all right. So psyops, I think applies here as well.
You know what, James? Just assume PsyOps applies to everything you do.
3 successes.
Yeah, he goes, you know what? I actually think I have seen you before. Now that he's in close to you, he also says, and these are dangerous times. I've heard that people are switching to an alternative form of if you don't have the francs, it sounds like you do, but if you don't, I am accepting 5 bullets for resident. I can trade them to the police for our good hard currency.
Okay. I'm not carrying any bullets on me, but I guess now I know that that's what people are doing. Thank you. What was your name? Sorry.
Now I got a French name generator. Future me, edit this part out so it doesn't seem like I'm completely unprepared. I can't just say his name is John.
No, Jacques.
Jacques is the French version of John.
I thought it was the French version of Jack. Anyway,
Jack is a nickname for John. His name is Bernard Bureau, and you can see that he is the owner and operator of the local tourism board, and also coincidentally the owner of the only Cabana hotel service in town. Crazy how that works out.
All right, I'll head across the bridge.
Okay. As you make your way to go across the bridge, the 2 police officers see you approaching, and just like one of them's got his hands folded over his ample belly and is walking towards you, and the other one's like waving at you to like not go over the bridge and has his left hand towards his like service pistol.
Yeah, I will fully act compliant, like
Okay.
like wave and like if we're not within speaking range, like indicate that where do you want me to be, where do you want me to go, etc.
So you're at a 3-way intersection now. Behind you is the road north that heads back to where your comrades are. There's also another road south that appears to lead westernly deeper into the mountains. And then there's this bridge that goes over a small river here and leads to the road that truly goes along the outside coast south. The police officer who's approaching you with like a hand out and a hand on his weapon goes, "Excuse me, miss, can I ask what your business is here?"
Yeah, I came into town hoping to get some heart medication for my uncle. He's okay, but the stress of what's going on, so I think could have got to him, and he has angina and just something to help, maybe even just some aspirin. If we can spare it, would be helpful.
Okay, we have the kind of drugs you're looking for. Can I see some identification?
I mean, I didn't really carry a wallet. I got some francs on me, but I didn't have a driver's license because I.
So when you say I've got some francs on me, the larger constable goes, "I think she just offered us a bribe," and the other guy's like not laughing, taking it very seriously. Okay, I'll tell you what. How serious is your uncle's medical condition?
He'll be okay. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to be before the power's back on, and I just want to make sure that we rest him, we keep him comfortable, and just keep his blood pressure down. Like, I mean, not talking like, I mean, if it was more serious, I probably would have had to borrow the neighbor's car, but I was okay to drive down here.
I would like you to make another persuasion check.
Sure.
You can PsyOps this.
Yeah.
This is for all the beans to lie to these guys. Once you're in, you're in. Okay, well, you're in.
Yep.
So, nervous police officer turns to larger police officer and says, "Okay, this checks out. Go get Dr. Lumiere. See if he can issue her some heart medication from the." The nervous police officer gives you the download on what's going on around here. Basically, there's a curfew. They're asking people to stay in their homes as much as possible when you're not doing local work. And, like they'd appreciate after this conversation when they give you stuff. You're free to look around here, but they'd like you to return back north, back to your house before dark sets.
No worries.
Okay.
But we didn't
No
say
worries.
much.
When you say no worries, his brows furrow, and he goes, "No worries. That's an Australian catchphrase. I got you." He doesn't do that. So a kind of haggard, incredibly pale French doctor goes from the fire department into the back of the ambulance and begins getting some aspirin and just like issuing out a ration of it into a pill bottle. He doesn't say anything as he hands it over to you. And it's such an awkward scene standing at an intersection with one guy ready to pull a gun on you, another guy who's acting like he's having the time of his life, and a very stern doctor who doesn't seem like he wants to talk to you, but is handing you drugs.
All right. Thank you. What do I owe you?
We have socialized medicine here.
All right. Well, thank you.
So,
Go ahead.
so 50% of your income.
That's how I know you're not American, Chris. That's how I know. It's not the fact that your username is ChrisAUS.
Hey, I remember when I started sending Patreon bucks, and you were like, "What is this 8 AUS? what is this Monopoly money?"
It's interesting. Well, I never said Monopoly money. It's interesting. I get at least 4 different currencies beyond US dollars. Wow, this cat really wants to stick its butt on your head.
Mate, this cat, like, has it not been fed yet or something?
No,
It's
I
just-
fed it before we started.
No, cats are liars, dude.
Incredibly active in needing to be involved with what you're up to. I'm used to like general,
He's orange, and his name is Dirt because Fit is
Yeah.
probably the least intelligent.
That's crazy because I feel the same way about Amore.
So, is their intent to like literally turn me around, like, since I got the aspirin and leave, or can I like walk in the town a little bit before I leave? And,
They
like, get
they aren't going to
closer
stop
school?
you from walking around the town, but they have told you that like they want you to be
Yeah.
home before dark.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, just you want to see what the meeting's about to see if
Yeah,
you can pass information.
I want to rubberneck with wherever else is,
Okay.
Meerkat.
It's another half-kilometer walk to the soccer field, which is absolutely poor rural soccer field right along this beautiful river at the edge of a jungle, just absolutely wild slice of civilization in the middle of nowhere. And I think as you're approaching, you gain the attention of everybody at the field. Like, oh, look, here's a complete outsider we've never seen approaching. Let's turn and pretend we're not talking about them as they approach, instead of dealing with the issues we have at hand. And that seems like a good place for us to stop.
It's small town gossip for sure.
Yeah, of course. Listen, I'm not always confident in my ability to role play, but that part, I'm going to get real good.
You wait to that whelp. You'll know the exit.
Normally we'd run through XP, but I've already determined everybody's getting 3 XP. And I swear, guys, I'm going to really try to find ways to make your moral code and big dreams relevant to what we're doing here. It's just really, really tough, actually.
Yeah. Look, I definitely, when you were going through scenes, if you had no second scene, I definitely knew what a second scene for Cass would be.
Oh, interesting.
But,
I couldn't
yeah.
figure out how to make that relevant. I guess I didn't know enough about Cassandra because your moral code is everyone is an asset or a liability.
Yeah. I think a second scene with Cass is going to be like her, like trying to use like lava life for dating and like sitting at like at a restaurant with someone. Lava life was like an early like phone, like where you ring up and you like leave a profile on a phone service.
Oh my God.
And other people could like hear your profile and try and connect with you and
wow.
early pre-internet dating.
Yeah.
And just like I see with her at like a restaurant listening to someone else talk about their life and like with that dead look in her eye, like I have nothing in common with this person.
But you gotta have the tinnitus sound in the background as well.
That's it, yeah, like the Homelander style, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, firecrackers talking to him. Yeah, incredible.
Like,
we should save that scene for next time for sure. Yes.
There's a moment where the date says, "So, what do you think?" It's like, "Sorry, what?"
Chris has cast himself as the sound of tinnitus.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, it's just count. I just am a veteran, mate.
Yes, Chris also 6 megahertz, people.
Yeah.
Well, let me say once again, this has been hold on. I got my thing. I don't always say this. This has been an adult podcast discussing mature topics, and this has been an Australian podcast discussing Australian topics. I have been your narrator, Arthur Perkins, AP Gaming Real. And I'm joined by, my gosh, why did I put all these things in different places? I can edit this later. GrimDarkJames as Agent Cassandra Liew, LordHunger as Major William Fulston, ChrisAUS as Sergeant Luke William, Pondo the Mad as our editorial intern, and our artist with Scout Comics, Connor Hughes. Patreon will get the post-episode discussion starting now. Do we have anything to say about this episode?
I was going to say it's also starring East Timor as East Timor.
You know, I've never heard it said out loud, okay?
And Delay.
Is that what it? Okay. Wow.
Delhi.
We're gonna get
Delhi.
Okay. All right.
Delhi. It was pretty close.
Yeah, you did pretty. Yeah, that was better than East Timor.
Again, I never heard it said out loud.
I guess it was in the news here a lot when it happened. So
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, not only was I too young to care about such things, but it happened on the other side of an ocean.
Yeah. Sorry, James. When you're talking about your on the dating through a phone, all I wanted to say was "Okay, boomer." So badly.
This hurtful guy. Why are you doing this?
I was trying to find what dating services existed in the 90s to work out.
We need to
what it
figure
would
out
actually-
how to get a pager involved. That way we can solidly put us in the mid 90s for sure. Or a beeper or a pager for sure.
I think she's the kind of girl that has a pager where she's automatically set up for it to go off at a time, like it's an alarm, so she has an excuse to leave in the date. And but if it's going well, she can just go, it's not important, and she can just continue. Otherwise, she's like, God, I got to take this. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what we planned to do. We got this sandwich. I think we were thinking it was going to be like just ruins and we would scrounge. But
I'm sorry that there are people living in the town.
I was hoping it'd be a little bit larger with some more stuff we could steal, and hopefully more people had run away and left.
Oh look, we've already stolen a dose of aspirin. That's I'm sure someone else could probably use if we didn't have it.
I mean, it could very well end up having to be given to old mate, so you may actually genuinely need it.
I'm so disappointed I didn't get asked for a name.
For what?
Did you have a name set up, ready to go?
Yeah, a name set up. Yeah,
they asked you for your identifying.
I did.
I
didn't have any. They never asked me for my name. So.
Oh my God! I'm sorry I didn't follow police procedures. I've literally never been police procedured.
I do feel like identification in that time and place would just be, so who are your parents? Who do you know? Like, just start listing names until we work out where my people meet your people. And the more and more these people you talk about, I don't know, the less likely you're who you say you are.
That's why ChrisAUS works, because you can NLP them. It's like, it's like I'm thinking of a name. It's a J name. Do you know a John?
Are you cold
John.
reading right now? Oh my God! Get out of here with that fucking bullshit.
Why do you only know dead people?
Wow, what a reference.
Hey, you want that reality TV, baby?
I don't want that reality. I explicitly reject it.
I feel like when you talk about Luke Bryan, Luke Williams, all I could think about was that he's working with animals all the time in thongs, and the fact that he still has all these toes is like, clearly he's there's some sort of luck involved. So it's like the man working in thongs.
Your Outback vet thing reminded me that when I was young, one of my sisters was dating a vet. Well, he was a vet student, and he wanted to be a doctor. But as soon as he started doing medicine at university, he worked out like he didn't want to take a human life into his hands. He felt that was too stressful. So he decided to change to veterinary medicine instead, but he was allergic to everything, like, cats, dogs, etc. So he ended up going into agricultural veterinary medicine because he could handle like cows and horses, just not domestic animals. So he was like this person that was like doing a job he completely hated because he had like tricked himself into that role.
See the guy that did the surgery on your rabbit?
Yes,
guinea pig or whatever it was?
He did the rabbit surgery. Have you heard the story, AP?
No.
Yeah.
No, okay. So when I was a child, I lived across the road from a golf course, and we had rabbits, and the rabbits would always try and escape to go live in the golf course because golf courses are great for rabbits. And many were the time that me and my sisters or my sister's boyfriends were up in the 3 a.m. trying to catch rabbits that had escaped from the outdoor run we had. But one of the rabbits tried to burrow under the wall of the run, which was chicken wire. And as she did, she's twisted and she's managed to get her abdomen caught on like one of the spurs of the chicken wire and tear like a 1-inch hole in her abdomen. And we took her to the vet, and the vet's like, this is going to be quite microsurgery. This is like going to be $600 to fix this rabbit. And we bought the rabbit for like $12 from the market. My mother's like, I'm not going to spend $600 on a $12 rabbit. You know, I'll buy another rabbit. And I was like 9, so I was distraught at the time. But because my sister was dating a vet student, he was like, oh, I could give it a go. So yeah, we thought, okay, what a great idea. Yeah, so this guy, did veterinary surgery in our laundry on this rabbit, stitched it all up, bandaged it, and gave us instructions that every day had to have the dressing changed, the wound had to be washed with iodine, had to be fed special food and kept separate from the rest of the rabbits. And because I was 9, I couldn't do this. So my mother and my sister, like every day for like 3 weeks, ministered to this rabbit. And it healed. It fully healed. And we put it back in the room with the others, and it escaped about 3 days later.
James, the way you were telling the story, my stress levels were rising so much. I was sure that this guy was going to kill the rabbit. So just know, in escaping, that was fine. That was fine.
Yeah. I was waiting for him to like stitch the small intestines.
No. Look, I made the rookie error of naming all my pet rabbits after characters from Watership Down. That was already
wow. That's messed up, dude.
Oh wow!
What is a 9-year-old doing reading Watership Down?
Have you ever seen the cartoon of it? They made a cartoon of it for kids.
No, I haven't actually.
It is very.
It is the ultimate. I want to traumatize my children.
Yeah, like there are scenes from that cartoon that still like ingrained in my mind now as an adult.
Is it the mice or whatever hanging?
No, that's Rats of Nim, and that's us Americans. That's what we use to scare the shit out of our kids.
No, in Watership Down, it's the scene where the burrow holes get filled in when all the rabbits are trapped in the burrow when the humans are filling them all in with dirt. So yeah,
it's
incredible. Audience, Patreon, so glad we could traumatize you for the amount of money you paid to be here.
That's it. Yeah.
If you wish to be triggered.
I showed my 13-year-old son Neverending Story. He didn't get upset when Artax died, so he's not human.
I enjoy the meme, which is like, cartoons from my childhood, cartoons from now, and it's just like, ooh, some dark times. There's a lot of adult cartoonists who are dealing with their childhood problems whilst inflicting it upon me.
Yeah,
wow,
I'll find
definitely don't Google Ren and Stimpy then.
I'll post that scene in chat for you later, AP, so you can share my childhood trauma.
Well, you don't need to do that. I feel like now I have to.
I watched the whole film.
Watch the whole movie. Yeah,
it's a good movie. I think it was one of those ones that had like an ensemble cast of voice actors, and because it had was it Cat Stevens that sung the Bright Eyes for it? Anyway,
Jesus Christ, Mike. Dirt needs to be like a cast member at this point, and Dirt needs a credit for this episode. It's going to be this involved.
You want the cat to be credited.
It's been a show.
This is an audio podcast, and the cat has not made any noise.
You're going to hear noises from this cat. I'm pretty sure my mic has been picking it up.
Yeah, I've definitely heard a couple of meows.
Don't worry, they all get removed.
Your particular algorithm is
no, I do it manually. Mic opening and drinking a soda removed manually.
All right, I'll tell you, it was Art Garfunkel. Not Cat Stevens. The theme for
is Farthing Wood the UK version of all of these?
I mean, Watership Down is a UK novel.
So it's Farthing Wood.
I don't know that it can become any less UK.
I'm starting to wonder though, because I remember specifically in school, junior school in the UK, so we're talking 8, we did both The Secret of Nim and Water. We did both. So, and watched got traumatized by both.
Well, Farthing Wood came out in 79, and Watership Down, the novel, came out in 72, the cartoon in 78.
Yeah, that is also a rough cartoon. Because, the mice or whatever it is hanging off the thorns in the hedgerow from the eagle or the bird or whatever.
Why are you doing this, man?
Rough. It's a rough one. That was a whole family, man. It's a whole family, man.
How are we set for the next episode? I actually don't know what the future.
I'm afraid my next availability 12th, Friday the 12th
of July,
Thursday the 11th.
I've got no issues with that.
I'm good with that. Put it in chat so I remember it too. Otherwise,
yeah, that would be good. So that means we're missing the next 2 weeks then. Just very clear. All right.
Mike is fully under attack by this cat.
Yeah.
It is. I'm telling you. Don't
Well,
make
I'm
me be the
usually
weird
asleep at this point,
fascinated
and this is when he's just been fed and he's desperate.
for adventure. Dad, let's go on an adventure.
Oh, we're not going to have an episode on American Independence Day. I'm very sad. Could have
Would
had
have been, yeah.
special
Play-
one-off episode where you played U.S. American Marine.
We can see which is worse, our American accents or your Australian accent.
I'm fully aware of which one's going to be worse, bud.
At least Chris lives with American. He can apply her for the right accent.
That's right. She can give me that Pan-American accent.
Yes, that's right. That Pan-American accent. That sounds like this.
Yep. Nice and flat.
Hello, friends. I'm an American. You can tell because I'm friendly and I like making small talk. And I pronounce vowels and consonants the reverse of how you do it.
It seems like you made a critical fail on your PSYOPs roll. Ha ha ha! Everything is fine. Carry on.
Well, AP, my son and I are 2 full episodes into season 3 of Critical Role, campaign 3.
Wow. All right. Well, it hasn't gone bad yet.
Because they're 4 episodes, we can't sit down and watch them all in one go. We sort of break them up into 2 2-hour lots. So we've had 4 nights so far of Critical Role. He's enjoying it though.
Cool. Hey, I finally got Minthara out of prison. That was nice.
Okay, so you managed to save her?
Yeah, she's a bad person. She's real psycho for sure.
You can fix her, AP.
I think that I will consider doing an evil run where I don't fix her. I let her control the world. She's like, what if we replace the Absolute? And I'm like, this bitch is crazy. I'm coming back on an evil run for this lady.
Well, don't do that on a Dark Urge evil run.
Wow. Okay, that sounds real specific. All right. Okay.
Definitely do a Dark Urge redeemed run and a Dark Urge evil run, but yeah, don't do Minthara.
You want me to replay the game 2 more times with one specific character? Wow. Who do you think who's got the time for this, James? I'm like 60 hours now. Admittedly, there was a day where I left my computer on for like 10 hours and I came back and I went, oh shit, I left Baldur's Gate open. But I'm pretty sure I have like 62 hours on my playtime, which means I have 52 hours on my playtime. You think I'm gonna Dark Urge it twice on 50 plus hours? Who has this time? Who has this time, James? I'm not one of these guys who sat here and remade my character for like 3 hours over and over again. I made one character in like 10 minutes and I was like, oh, this is taking so long.
So this is my strategy. I made a character, I played through, I finished the game. Right?
Yeah.
I then made 5 characters and started 5 new playthroughs. And whenever I want to play now, I just think, oh, I'm in a warlock mood today. I'm going to play the warlock. You know? So they're like 5 playthroughs all in different points. And I'm trying to remember because I only worked out in the second playthrough that you can make, if you're romancing one companion, you can make a different companion romance another companion. So I'm now pairing up who are the pairs in each of my playthroughs as well. So.
Wild. I don't know anything about that.
Are you shipping?
I'll tell you what is crazy though. I was like, I'm not going to put any time into designing my Dream Guardian or whatever. I was like, all right, she's going to have blonde hair, green eyes. Let's go. This is perfect. And then I saw her for the first time in a cinematic and I was like, I'm pretty sure I didn't give her a huge ass, but she does just have this huge ass. Who designed this character's huge ass? It's so distracting.
Somebody sculpted that for hours.
Yeah. Sorry,
there's so many triangles that have been put into polygons to make this ass.
Yeah. The cake is a lie.
I'm here for that cake. Let her cook.
Let it cook. All right, friends. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for joining me. You guys have a good day.
I finished Hard Shake. I finished Shipbreaker again.
Oh, look at Mr. I finished Shipbreaker again. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
I was going for a no death run, but I had 2 deaths.
Well, next time you need to just do the hardcore mode where when you die, it's over permanently.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. An honor run.
Okay,
all right. Patreon at home. This is it. That's it for us. How do I stop this thing again?